Hello and welcome, Snake here. It's been a while, but I'm back with another tier list, thanks to Tier Maker tool, which I freaking love it. Absolutely recommend to doing tier list if you're interested. But thanks to this tool, I'm able to make another tier list, and it's time for Skaven. Oh boy, I hate Skaven, but I like Skaven. It's complicated. But the problem is they have a lot of units that are just not really perform that well, and that's why I don't like play every legendary lord from Skaven, like Clan Rictus. It's an interesting campaign, it has zero mechanics, but it's an interesting campaign because you start in a shithole where you're really surrounded by a lot of enemies, and you do need to manage this up. And, Clan Rictus is not the best, but yet it still offers something. Of course, my favorite is no doubt Clan Molder and Clan Scryer, because these two offers decent mechanics and decent improvements for units, so it's much more entertaining. Anyway, this validation of units is done by me, and I do have my certain playstyle. I have a problem with playing games sometimes because I am disabled, so it does affect my rating a little bit. And of course, if you like this kind of stuff, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, you can help me a lot. I cover Total War Warhammer, will cover 40k, but I also cover some zombie games, and from time to time I dive into real life issues. But that's it, let's go to Skaven. And I'll start with absolutely units I barely recruit. I recruit them only when I have to, when I'm forced and I cannot get anything better. But outside of that, they're completely trash. And of course, I'm talking about Skaven slaves. Skaven slave spears. Clan rats spears. Clan rats shields. Clan rats shields with spears. God, I hate these units. They don't suck as bad when you summon them. But when you want to use them, I'd rather go for literally Skaven slave slingers, because they at least have some missile attack. But again, there are situations where I really have to use them. And that's the moment when I'm literally forced. I'm forced to do it. And that's the only moment when I'm going to recruit them. Next up, warp grinders, and you might be surprised, but I fucking love warp grinders. Warp grinders, I freaking love them. They are a menace in the sieges, which is gonna be important very soon when they remove quite a lot of siege attackers. Plus, they don't have to go into a city, but yeah, they can demolish walls, they can demolish gates, they're really good at it. But what is good at it, I'll show you in the game. They're tier 2 unit, but they do have some nice ability. Seismic Snare that roots units around you. It does not affect units on the walls, by the way. It's a lie. I use it on the units on the walls and they just move out. And Warp Quake. Warp Quake is one of the abilities that really screw me over when I played Skarbrand and I had second army full of infantry. Then I met warp grinders and they fucking destroyed me. They destroyed blobs of infantry. They're amazing versus vampire counts, corn blobs, stuff like that. They're really anti-blobby. But you know what? They also work amazingly in the sieges. This ability, you stand with your units under the wall and just use it. Units on a wall takes damage. Cooldown is rather quick, so it goes really, really fast. They are really freaking strong, and I just love them. Just like that. I had to move things out a little bit. Next up are the Plague Monks. And to be honest, Plague Monks offer absolutely zero value. I mean, they have higher leadership than most of the trash clans and stuff like that. So let's say they are here. Because when you recruit them, they are probably one of the first infantry I am willing to recruit for, side armies that need infantry. If I need some melee infantry and I don't have options, because often you build the Pox Cauldron building where you can recruit them on tier 3 because you want to have your, plague priests. So they are available quite often, at least in mine campaigns. So I can get them. But to be honest, they are not performing that well whatsoever. And I would say the same goes for Storm Vermin. Storm Vermin is not bad in a sieges when you have Storm Vermin and you put them on the walls where units getting in. They will hold much, much longer. But to be honest, as a tier 3 unit, they barely have any armor piercing. They have shields. Let me show you. They, as a tier 3 unit, barely any armor piercing. Mid stats, shield with 35% missile block. Nothing. There is nothing here that is really that impressive. Again, in sieges, at least, they can be useful. And if I have to go for Storm Vermin, it's gonna be, with the spears. Halberdiers, I mean, spears, whatever. They at least can stop something. They have pretty much the same stats, just versus large, they're disgusting. And I fell into a trap multiple times, like, oh, Storm Vermin's not gonna do that much. And then they do quite a lot, because a lot of armor piercing, bonus versus large, yeah, they are nasty motherfuckers. So Storm Vermins are definitely out there in terms of value if you're looking for melee infantry. And if you plan to build assassin buildings, I would say both Eshin Triads and Death Runners are here as well. They're not like the greatest out there, okay? But both of them are very useful. Still not that good in terms of defense and everything, but both have 30% physical resistance. They do definitely do their job nicer than whatever is below. So these would absolutely do something. Again, I'm not a huge fan of infantry from Skaven roster, but these three serves the purpose absolutely. I would use them more often than anything else. And then we have a Plague Monks, the variant Censer Bearers. I am confused why this is so high in the tier list. It should be lower. Because these guys, just for the fuck's sake. Like, come on. Melee defense 30. Melee attack 34. They have Weeping Blade. Okay. Actually, it's not the Weeping Blade. It's different. Okay, Weeping Blade had these guys. It does reduce armor quite a lot. They do have Plague Sensor. Okay, so it contaminate and reduce leadership. Fine. They have probably the highest leadership amongst the infantry, but tier 5, like for real, right? And they're really strong on armor piercing, just 15 physical. It's like, no, probably the same level. I can try, but I'm not gonna succeed with it because why? On tier 5, I have better options. And remember, it's only melee infantry. It's most likely gonna die before it reaches something. So I absolutely put it here because it doesn't deserve any higher tier. And now, missile infantry. Let's go. Skaven slaves. Yes, but this time these are not as bad as you think. Slingers are terrible accuracy. The damage is almost non-existent, but they will do way more damage than anything below before it reaches them. So I'll take it. Hands down, I'll take it. Then we have Night Runners. Night Runners have 20% physical resistance. They're tier 2 and much less ammo because they are more of an assassin. Yeah, they come from assassin building. They are having Vanguard deployment, fire while moving, so you can kite a little bit here and there, so you can build and use them in like assassin type army, like a, kite and kill. But when it comes to them being in melee, they get squashed really quick. But if you kite and you can use them. They're not as bad as you may think. And Night Runner Slingers are the next one. And to be honest, they're like here. They're just okay, they do better damage than Skaven slaves, okay, but they suffer the same problem. Leadership, I mean, any kind of resistance to damage is only physical No, I mean, you recruit them, okay, because they can be used, but fuck that. It's not worth to spam them. And now, warp fire throwers. And I fucking love warp fire throwers. As same as I love iron drakes. You know, I use them as a complementary unit. I don't have, like, if I build weapons team, I have some warp fire throwers. Because, let's face it, nothing will protect missile units very good as an infantry, because they will get squashed and nothing will happen. Meanwhile, warp fire throwers can absolutely decimate whatever is coming, putting debuff of warp flame, so more fire damage available. Yeah, they are amazing, especially in sieges. I fucking love anything that shoots and burn, and these guys burn disgustingly. Anti-blob, anti-crowd, anti-seed, they're just so fucking good. I love them. You might be surprised. You might be really surprised. Poison Wind Globadiers I value less, a bit less than the warp fire throwers. Despite being, a little bit more consistent in shooting or something, but I feel like I found the flame being much more effective against units that coming towards you, because the warp flame also reduce leadership, the burned, while you don't have that. You do have damage per second when you get hit, but when you build a weapons team, you wanna absolutely reduce the leadership so they break and they fuck off, so they don't bother you whatsoever. That's why I use warp fire throwers much more often than poison wind globadiers, but they serve the purpose and they're nice. They're nice. I like the dot. I like to use them in sieges. Sometimes it's a mix of both. Next up are the Gutter Runners, and I'll take them together because Gutter Runners with poison and normal plus, Jesus, this is the mess, okay? I'll show you. This is the mess of assassin building. You have Gutter Runner Slingers, you have Gutter Runner Slingers with poison, and Gutter Runners with poison. So there is quite a lot of stuff. The difference is amongst them is that some of them fire while moving and some of them are just shooting as they are. So depends what you want to do. I would say Gutter Runners, poison, and just the other one that shoot while moving are absolutely much better than this, okay? I don't like this playstyle when I have hidden units and they're shoot and I kite, because often these guys get caught and they don't do as much damage as I want to. But in the end, I mean, okay, let's be a little bit more fair. Amongst them all, amongst the kite mechanic, these will perform the best, okay? So I'm very generous here because I am. And if you want to kite units, these guys will do nice. If you want to have slingers, units that are doing something as a tier 3, yeah, the Gutter Runner Slingers will do damage. But again, it's so weak. I would say the poison is better, but I hate slingers. They suck. And that's why I'm a little bit chaotic here, because I'm trying to be fair and honest. And same goes here. Like these with poison will do way better, and they cost more. But the poison itself does a lot, because you want to use the poison to slow down whatever is chasing you. So these with poison, as Gutter Runners will absolutely be the best to kite units. As for the others, as you can see, I am not huge fan of all the assassin units, the building, so I dare to confuse myself a little bit here and there. And now, Rattling Guns. And holy fuck, Rattling Guns are insane, okay? And I'm just talking about normal Rattling Guns. Normal. And they're so fucking good. And it's just mind-blowing that when you play as Clan Scryer, they get even better. So the the weapons team you build up together just destroys anything that gets close to. And it's just insanity how good they are. I mean, I could just talk and talk, but these guys are just the best. Death Glow Bombardiers. Is that the name? Hold on. Bombardier. Yeah. Jesus. They cause so much AoE damage. My biggest problem with these two units is the range. But, oh my god, the damage they cause is just so insane. The spreading and just magic attack in general is really powerful. So it bypass any physical, but it's so disgusting. And I just wish there is a cheeky way to increase. Maybe if you steal some heroes, you could get a range that is insane. Like, steal hero from Tamarkan. Yeah, and I would start with this. But if you increase the range, holy fuck, they are shredding everything. I mean, mostly groups, and they are excelling here. But wonderful. And wonderful are also Warplock Gisales. Gisales are, as well, insane. These guys have massive armor piercing, shield breaker, so they reduce missile, and together these guys are assassinating everything. Let's say you apply the shield breaker from Gisales, and you constantly armor pierce, while rattling guns, putting suppress, because when they constantly shoot something, they put debuff that slows down the target. So you essentially make whatever is trying to reach you impossible to reach you, and you destroy it. That's why these two are so powerful. It's just insanity. Also, as the very powerful tool is Poisoned Wind Mortars. Holy fuck, these guys are so good. They're not the best, but they absolutely do. I mean, to be honest, I would put them here, because they serves the purpose the best. They do quite a lot splash. They are so powerful. I love them. I love to use them. But often I use like 1-2 at best to make it room for other units. But when I get them, I'm happy, okay? I am able to use them. Absolutely worth waiting. Whatever time you have to recruit, it's good to have all these three, because they work together. Sometimes I also put some warp fire throwers in between, like 2 on the sides, so whatever is trying to come, it burns. So absolutely amazing. And let's face it, when you put Clan Scryer into it, everything just gets better from those range units. Even Clan Molder can improve them, so hell yeah. Like, giving them stock is another great, just basic stock immediately improves them. So you can just do sneaky attacks. Yes. And when it comes to monsters, I hate wolf rats as a unit to recruit. You know why? 34 leadership. You loud click on your mouse, these guys get scared. They're absolutely trash as a unit to recruit. However, they're excellent when you use them as a summon from Backmaster. They're still shit with leadership, but they can be used as a cannon fodder. They can be used like meat shield, a cover, or something that can keep busy artillery, missile units. Yeah. They're shit unless you use them as a summon from Packmaster, and Packmaster makes them wonderful. And I'm serious. They become wonderful. As a tier 2 unit is trash. I would not use it. As next one, Rat Ogres. I would say they're not super trash. I build armies full of Rat Ogres. I was disappointed, but also it serves some purpose, it did some damage. They have higher leadership than a lot of things. And I value leadership much higher in Skaven than any other races, because the leadership here is terrible. Straight up terrible. So if something starts with base 60 leadership, I'm already in, because it doesn't look that bad whatsoever. And same goes for Mutant Rat Ogre. Mutant Rat Ogre, only problem for me is that lack of sustain. It's a big target that it can fight nicely. It's anti-infantry. It says it's anti-infantry. It's not anti-infantry, but it's a large entity with splash attack, because it does have strong weapon strength. So it does some cleave. It does have frenzy. It does have some physical resistance. But the problem is that stats on its own are super low. Melee defense is terrible. I mean, terrible. It's super low. Okay, it's barely any armor. And often missile units focus fire and shoot mutant rat ogres. So without a sustain, they suffer greatly. But I use them a lot, especially in early stages of Molder, because you actually have them to your disposal. They are useful. They are, useful. I would say they're even here, because I really like them. But they suffer from lack of sustain. And often I would say, yeah, I would recruit them more. But then again, I don't. And I notice that I choose something else. And what I use? A brute horror. I build brute horror armies. 1, because it's super fast army. 2, because it's disgustingly powerful, because it can regen. It does have lower stats in terms of combat than like mutant rat ogre. But they're faster, they can regen, and in general, they really nicely work with pack masters, because pack masters also ride brute horrors. So yeah, and when you use them as a clan molder, holy fuck, they are insane. I love them, and I'm serious, I love them. And now, Hellpit Abomination, and you may be like, yeah, Hellpit Abomination. I bet he put it somewhere in the bottom, because, yeah. To be honest, I was supposed to do that. I thought, yeah, it sucks. But then I played it as a clan molder, of course, remember that. And it surprised me how insane it can be against, like, the best tier 5 Bretonnian knights. And I love it. I build an army full of mutant rat ogres. I love them. But they're squishy. They do have some missile resistance. They have regen. They have plenty of health pool. And you do, in order to them being like here, you really need to have Clan Molder. Because otherwise they drop here, because they lose their power. Clan Molder makes them here. So let's say they're on the mid. Without Clan Molder, they're mid at best. With Clan Molder, they're much higher, because they can be better, much better. And of course, other units without or with Clan Scryer, like here, or Clan Molder, still can be very, very good. That's why I use them. I cannot say the same thing about Doomflayers. Doomflayers are like a chariot-alike unit. Problem is that there is 8 of them, and they often get stuck. And I hate that. I hate that because they are supposed to be better, and I cannot deal with it. It's pissing me off, because they should be better. But 8 entities, 1500 mass, which should be nice. Yeah, it's decent stats, very versus infantry. I use them. They serve the purpose. But are they as that good as I would like to? Perhaps. I would say, yeah, let's be honest, right? Like that. Jesus, I'm so confused. I really have problem with evaluating some of the units. So this serves a purpose, but also, if you... Because here's thing. If you match it against something that is not infantry, they start struggle. But when you go against infantry, Jesus, they are... Whew. But you know what's even better? Doomwheel. And I remember Legend of Total War absolutely decimating Doomwheel. He doesn't like Doomwheel as a mount, he doesn't like Doomwheel as a unit. I'm not Legend, I fucking love it. You know why? Because Doomwheels obliterate infantry. They roll over infantry with such a, power, it's insane. They also have a lot of ammo. They shoot a bolt that does a lot of damage. So, very powerful armor piercing. And if you combine quite a lot of them, yeah, there will be some friendly fire. But in general, they're really fucking good. And I cannot complain about them. And I also cannot complain about the artillery. Plague-Claw Catapult, Tier 3 Catapult, that does so much damage. And it reduces leadership. It's just... I often, when I play as an evil guys and I have like some kind of missile army, I always friendly recruit from Skaven. Plague-Claw Catapults are universal, great unit. Absolutely loving it. And I would love to say the same thing about Warp Cannon. Warp Lightning Cannon is not as good as I wish to be. And I'll tell you why. There is like 4 entities shooting. And instead shooting wide against unit, they're trying to focus in the same spot. Which means a lot of firepower is wasted. Because they shoot the same spot directly. There should be like wider spread of a missile. No, they're piercing the same spot. And it's like 4 entities shooting. 1 unit hits, there is explosion. Second hits, explosion. The last 2 comes in, there is nothing. Because it's already eliminated in that spot and exploded and killed every infantry or something. It's way better versus like large entities, way better versus single entities. But if you want to use it against blobs or something, it does a lot of damage. It's very good against large entities. But like I said, it's not versatile versus large clusters because it's not that good. While Plague-Claw Catapults are not as good versus single entities, they still do it, but in blobs they excel, while these are excellent versus single entities, but versus blobs, they struggle. And that's why I'm not that huge of a fan of them. But of course, when I have something to use, I absolutely will. And that's it. That's my Skaven roster, evaluated with some, hiccups. But I absolutely... I like Skaven in some clans. The units are very powerful. A power creep amongst some of the units is insane. Of course, the low part of a roster is because these units just... Oh my god. They don't hold the ground. And as a dwarf player, I hate when something breaks instantly, especially with the spears when they're supposed to hold the line. So yeah, that's not my kind of kink where I torture myself with Skaven slaves or clan rats or wolf rats. Anyway, I hope you like it. Let me know in a comment what, in your opinion, I evaluated terribly. I'm really interested, and how I am wrong by evaluating like Doomwheel as just the best. Let me know in a comment. I hope you like it. Subscribe if you like this kind of work. Take care, and bye-bye.